So maintaining my Deep Space Nine shelf flavour again, we have here the Cardassian Galor class, which again I had to get off eBay because they were never showing up on the Hero Collector website, and I was just getting bored of waiting for one to turn up basically. So I managed to track one down. Relatively hard to find even on eBay actually. I don't know if they were super popular or just not massively produced. I don't know, but you know, sometimes you do get these little quirks where certain models aren't massively readily available. But we saw this ship first in the Next Generation, in connection with the Bajorans often, and apparently the first episode it showed up in was one where the Federation had been sort of tricked into finding someone, and two Galore class ships turned up to try and destroy the ship that this person was on, and the Enterprise of course was in the mix. They are pretty capable warships. We see them a lot in the Dominion War. We also see them getting clobbered by the Klingons as well, and you know, often clobbered by the Federation, but they tend to travel in packs of 3, and we saw that in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, where 3 of these ships challenged the, at the time, quite poorly defended station pretty successfully. And obviously, you know, there is an advantage in having numbers on your side, as with any other sort of engagement. And they were quite unusual ships, really. They've got this nice sort of Cardassian symbol on the front leading edge hull there, and we haven't really seen anything like them before, because they are sort of, they've got a bit of the sort of manta ray about them almost. They look quite sort of fish-like, and interesting colour scheme as well. This sort of orangey colour, we haven't really sort of seen that before on many alien ships. So you know, they are portrayed as being quite capable of taking on Federation ships in their sort of size class, and there do tend to be a lot of them as well, which of course puts Starfleet at a bit of a disadvantage, because Starfleet isn't really known for having lots of ships of the same type. The Excelsior might be the exception to that rule perhaps, but generally speaking the Federation fleet is far more of a sort of a mixed bag. This is a very determined box, because I think this being a pre-owned one, they've obviously very kindly stuck the box back together again after they've opened it. So let me just fiddle with it a little bit off screen for you. I apologise, normally these boxes just separate out very, very easily, so I'm just having to wrangle this one a little bit. So there she is. She's quite light actually. I'll just remove the rest of the components that I need from here, and I'll be with you. Not my smoothest box opening ever, I would freely admit. I also don't actually know exactly where I'm supposed to be holding on to her. Let me just show her to the camera first. So, interesting choice of colour for the deflector at the front actually. I thought, oh no, I don't think they are red actually. So, various sort of disruptor banks on the various tips of the wings and the tail. So quite capable of doing a reasonable arc of fire. There's a little bit of weight to her, so I think she has got a little bit of metal, but not masses of metal in this one. Quite an interesting sort of bridge configuration. The bridge is quite sort of high up for visibility, perhaps. But it also makes you a bit of a sitting duck, I think, quite frankly. I mean, it's very much at the front of the ship. So if you want to ram anyone, you're really gonna feel it on the bridge, I feel. But as I say, it's an interesting overall shape that we just hadn't really sort of seen before, and quite a few of these ships getting a fairly impressive pasting, but managed to hold together as well. I mean, Ducat's ship in Way of the Warrior gets the stuffing kicked out of it by 2 birds of prey and a Vorchak class attack cruiser as well at one point, and it holds out remarkably well. But ultimately, of course, it does buy the farm, even with the Defiance backing it up. But the simple reality of the fact is that the Cardassians had a lot of these ships, and of course when the Dominion got involved, they started churning them out big style, and they had quite significant shipyards, as we saw in the course of the series, that were helping to churn them out. As you can see there, that the magazine's got them in the classic sort of 3-ship formation, but they do have the deflectors as blue, whereas it's been coloured in red here. We can have a quick look in the magazine. Oh yeah, no, in the series shots, I think you can probably see there, the deflector is actually red there, as you see at the top of the page. So I guess that is show accurate. It's just curious that obviously their render on the front makes it look like they're a little bit more bluey, but I think that's absolutely fine. So yeah, I mean, they're, as I say, because they were decidedly alien in their nature as ship designs go, and we'd never heard of the Cardassians before as a species, as a race outside, before they suddenly just popped up in a Next Generation episode. So the whole sort of Bajoran Cardassian conflict we literally just had not heard of until this one episode where they were suddenly introduced in the Next Generation, and it then transpired that their back history was such that the Federation had actually had an out-and-out conflict with the Cardassians, because Picard was very leery of them, and everyone on the crew was, and they were known for massacring civilians, and they were just generally nasty pieces of work. So they also led into the whole sort of marquee Federation terrorist type storyline as well, although there were, I think, also Cardassians who were operating in a similar fashion. So they did become quite an important species, and even more so when it came to Deep Space Nine, of course, because that was originally a Cardassian space station, Terra Connor. So I very much wanted one of these for my my Deep Space Nine shelf, because I didn't have many sort of aggressor races outside the Jem'Hadar to throw at it. So I'm quite happy that I now have a Galor class to my name, and I will add that to my Deep Space Nine shelf, which you will see in due course. So I think I have one more DS9 themed ship to show you, and possibly 2 actually, and then I will move on to other things. So I will crack on. Cheers.